Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Female Pro League Season 1 Frozen Divas, and we are now almost at the very end of those playoffs. We're going to be having the semi-finals up in front of us. Four amazing teams going to be playing out here. If you're already on the Discord, you know that those teams have already been revealed out here. Again, before we move on to that stage, we're going to give a huge shout out to ESEL for making the entire thing possible. And now you're going to have the storytellers as me, Scared Yet, and alongside me, we're going to have Synchro, my man. How are you feeling today? We are in those semi-finals right now, after all.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be here to watch these beautiful ladies playing again. I mean, we're having some already known teams. I mean, we have Food Esports, Boss Gaming,
Yeah.
Zero Vision, and who was the last team? Munsters,
Bringing
right?
bads, man.
Bringing
Bads.
bats. Marvet.
How can I miss that
But,
out? Yeah,
I mean, we saw a lot of these teams. I know a few of these players myself. I think from 3 different teams, I know some of the players. So I'm very expecting a lot. I'm very excited to watch these games, and I'm very happy about it. How about you?
I'm super excited as well, right? Because with the way how all the Boars rosters were dominating, I never imagined the semifinals to be anything without at least two of those rosters. But it's only Boars Queens who have made it all the way up here. So I'm pretty excited to see how they're going to be panning out against for esports. While Zero Vision, once they'll be taking on Bringing Bad, that's going to how that one is going to pan out. All of that is going to be super fun, exciting. And my man, let's just talk about that first matchup itself, right? For esports, they're going to be taking against Boars Queens. So, talk to me about this entire matchup, considering how strong for esports has been throughout this entire, you could say, league stage. I think so. Boars Queens will be having a tough competition.
I mean, we already talked about it a few times. The Wars teams are playing very good, very dominant in dominating in these games. On the other side, we have Food Esports, also very known, very good players. They also know very good how to play. They have the experience, but I think the first game will be like a very equal game. I think both teams have around like the same experience, maybe also the same skills. So I think we can expect definitely a 2-1 in this first game.
I mean, it is going to be pretty close. That I agree. But since we've been talking about for esports, right, I kind of want to have a look at the roster as well because with the way how all of these divas have been playing together, it's been pretty exciting. But here's the thing: how we've seen them finish off those matches in under 10 minutes, in under 12-minute mark. I mean, there has rarely been a team who has been able to stand up against all of these five players in front of us right now, Synchro.
I mean, we have Nora on the roam position, we have Zendaya on the mid position, Unohana on the XP, Miko on the gold lane, and Kujo on the jungle. All of them very great performances. They know their roles very well.
True.
So I think we can expect a lot of the side of this team. Um, what I need to say for me personally, I really like the performances of Miko and Kujo, the jungler and the gold laner. They quite of impressed me in the last games I was watching of them. So I think we can really expect a lot from the side of Food Esports.
Yep, I mean, they've constantly been that one dominating force who's, let's just say, who've been just super good, super consistent, and if anything, all of their games have straight up been those two O's, right? On the other side of the spectrum, once we have a look at the Bows Queen, this roster was performing insanely good as well in their own respective group. We've got Okun, Katsumi, Lixi, Excuse Me. Uh, One of the big things is that we were able to decipher the name of Excuse Me, and I still hope that it is correct. And then we had Lunaris Lover as well. Playing together, pretty strong. But the question is, Synchro, can they face up against Foot? And can they defeat them?
It's for me. It's actually hard to say because when I watch Food Esports, they, in my opinion, they played against team that are not playing like with the experience as they have. So it's really hard to say because Boss Queens is definitely a team which plays better, but it's still the question: do they have like the same experience? Are they playing on the same level, or are they even better? Maybe.
That's one of the big things, right? Since we are already up here in top 8, ladies and gentlemen, we've got four teams on the left, we've got 4 teams on to the right. Is the quarterfinals out here, and with how these games are going to be up in front of us, the winners will move over towards the semi-finals. It's going to be best of 3 all across the board. While we have a look at the rest of the places as well, we've got Bose Divine, Bose Gaming, Monsters, Helicopters, all of them are here. So again, it's going to be an exciting matchup up between all of these teams, and let's see how many Boars team actually make it towards the semi-finals. So right now, with them, one of their rosters facing against FUT Esports, we've seen their previous results. All of them have been pretty straightforward, dominating wins for all of these teams. So it's going to be fun to witness how the draft is going to be manipulated now, considering FUT Esports really like to play with the meta, my man.
I completely agree with you, but I need to say, when I remember the last games, it's most of the games it wasn't like very meta-like. It was like picks and bans you normally or usually don't see, like a Kaja XP lane with Inspire on physical build, Nana picks. But I need to say, there was one Nana a few days ago who completely dominated the enemy team, and it was actually the only reason they won with this Nana pick. So in my opinion, it doesn't matter which kind of draft they're going for or what kind of heroes they ban. I think we are playing right now on like a decent level where I would say no matter what they are doing, they know what they should do and they know what they are capable of doing. So I'm very excited to see these drafts, to see these picks, and let's see who will win the game.
That's going to be one of the big things that, or rather, you could see the highlight, right? And to be honest, I kind of wanted to talk about some of their previous matchups as well, which we have seen both of these teams play. I'm going to pull out their results as well, because let's be honest, Boars Queens, they, if I'm not wrong, were the ones who faced up against Monsters as well previously, and they were not able to close that one. Monsters, if anything, had the better hand in that, while Helicopters faced off against Angels, and that went up for Helicopters. Again, a pretty long time back matchup, the one that we probably had on the 30th of March as well. So that's something we'd have to keep in mind, because that last matchup did not really end up well for both Queens. So FUT Esports would probably be a team that will be really, let's just say, be on that front foot, right? So I mean, yeah, I agree, Synchro, that we think it might actually be a 2-1. I also feel if FUT Esports are fully focused on, logged in, if they play seriously, this might as well end up in being a 2-0 for them.
I mean, it could be possible. I mean, we know both teams, so it's either the question right now, who is the better team? Like whose performance is much better? Who knows better how to play, how to rotate, how to regulate, how to engage, how to do literally everything in this game?
It's gonna be main thing is how you're gonna read against, you're gonna have that read against your. You know what? I really like that. I have to say, I really like Itachi Uchiha skin right now, considering how things have been going in, right? Here we go. We're back again, right? I apologize for slight bit of that technical issue, right? Now, coming back onto that skin of Itachi Uchiha, it has been going on pretty good. Sometimes I end up being in the genjutsu of his, and eventually my video disappears. That's probably what happened, but we're back out again, and I'm pretty glad that it was not something like Koto Matsukami or Mugen Tsukiyomi. But coming back into this game, right, I'm pretty sure Boars Queens will have to cast at least one of those illusions on FUT Esports if they want to try and win up in this draft itself. Because we're already in the ban phasing, and they have gone for the carry ban, which we don't normally see on the blue side.
I mean, if you intend to going for some different heroes on the first pick, I mean, it's understandable to ban a carry. Yeah, in my opinion, it depends on like what kind of heroes you're going to draft, what kind of heroes you want to pick. If you want to go for the first pick Zuxin, for the first pick Zoa, whatever, then it's completely sure and understandable if you're going to ban out this carry first, especially if you intend in general to going for like in tanky drafts. So I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with it. But otherwise, you're also seeing the Grog getting banned out. I think this is one of the most banned heroes in this tournament I saw since yet. Same for the Freya and the Zuxin, also very often getting banned out of this tournament. I mean, Zuxin from the red
True.
side and Freya is both understandable, so the blue side can't take it on the first pick.
That's one of the big things. You don't really want to give those solid picks up onto the other side. I kind of like that. On the back of that, now we're gonna take up the Sora. All right, that means Valentina might actually end up being the priority of Bo's queens on the blue side. There could very well be possible. While for esports, what do you want to take care of?
But
All right,
I don't know if
wherever the Leo
Valentina is
wants
right
it.
now like that's high priority to going to pick. It completely depends on
Yep.
what kind of heroes your enemy picks.
I mean, I still feel that she kind of limits your opponent as well, side by side, into picking something that doesn't really have a high value ultimate, right? Even if you pick up Neve or maybe even the Farsa, now you have a risk of the Valentina stealing those ultimates away. Even if it's a Zacian, if anything. The IMU will steal away the Phoenix Fury. Eventually, you have the entire vision, though. But man, this Marcel, how can we always forget? For esports, really like to prioritize the Marcel in their draft. And with the Guinevere as well, I remember last time I saw them, and they were not playing in their own jungle. They were fully invested in their opponent's jungle, and that match did not even last 12 minutes.
Oh man, I really like the Marcel pick. I really like the Guinevere pick. I mean, here we see now why they're going for the carry ban because they went for the Baxia first pick into the jungle. I mean, it's fine. I understand also people banning Baxia because it's very strong. You have the utility and everything actually, but still leaving the Marcel, leaving Guinevere, both of like probably one of the strongest heroes right now, especially because Food Esports can make some very dangerous combos over here. But on the other hand, we're seeing boss queens also with the Kimi, with the Hanabi, so already two, yeah, let's say it like marksmen, one on the mid lane, one on the gold lane. Pretty decent, I guess. I mean, we saw also Hanabi performances, especially in the last games, which were outrageous, so
True.
I won't say anything bad anymore against Hanabi picks.
I wish she was in my background as well at this point, with the way how we started the Tritons, alright. But here's the big thing, right? I understand the idea behind the Hanabi and the Kimi. You kind of want to pair the Kimi up with the box here to have that early game, the river control. But Marcel is going to steal most of that away from you. And here's a fun few counters of Marcel, to be honest. Something that can poke the enemy quite a lot. And one of those is going to be the Hilda. So if Boar's Queen draft that Hilda for themselves, what might not have such an easy time into dominating in their jungle because Hilda will just brute force Marcel out of her own jungle. So that's one thing. And since they've already gone in for the Basha, I think so they can try and flex the Basha up into that from position. And if they want, they can actually pick up the Harley so that he can instantly burst down Marcel because Marcel's early game is pretty weak. He's very squishy in that. And that is where the Guinevere comes into play, who eventually jumps in, takes that frontliner role, is also able to knock a few enemies up. So that's the kind of idea behind Fat Esports draft. But I want Boar's Queen to kind of find these answers.
Yeah, but I need to say I really like the Baxia on the jungle pick. I think it's actually better than flexing it on the roam right now. Because if we're looking for Food Esports with the Guinevere, they're having a very tanky jungler right now, the side of War's Queen. Yes, a very tanky side on the jungler position. So it means the Jinwei can't take him out like that easily, which she could do with like in Harley, Suyu, or whatever they could also pick for an assassin on the jungle position. So I actually prefer I really prefer the Baxia pick right now on the jungle pick.
Could
And
work
with
to
the
be honest.
Baxia,
And all right, I'm thinking of the ideas behind that Kalia ban, right? You don't really want to give that pick off to the other side, so it kind of makes sense. And Khalid as well, it's fine, understandable, pretty solid in terms of having that area control with the Raging Sandstorm. But now, if you really look at the side of Boar's Queens, I still feel that they kind of need that a bit of early game poke, something that can take control of the map, steal it away from Marcel. You don't have the Harley. You can definitely flex the Basha into the roam position and pick the Harley up. That way, you're gonna have that early game pick off potential presence, which doesn't really require Kalia to work. Or you could potentially pick up something like the Kaja, or maybe if you're way too comfortable with the Cho, then you can go in for the Cho as well, which will kind of give you the same idea of stopping the Marcel and isolating that pick and instantly pushing him back into your own jungle. We're going to be having a quick run into the draft as well. There might have been a slight technical issue, ladies and gentlemen, but don't worry, we're going to be running right through it with the bans and the picks, so I don't think so a lot of things should change.
I think so too. I mean, they had both decent drafts, but as you already mentioned, they need something to burst it down. You said maybe the Hilda, but I actually think Hilda isn't the best idea, especially if we're looking for Guinevere and the Marcel, because Marcel just stuns her for 1 second, Guinevere can jump, they can burst him down.
Here's the big thing, right? I just feel that Hilda could actually be a pretty solid pick. The only reason for that is that she can hide in those bushes. And with as much poke as you'd want to go with, Hilda can mostly out sustain you. Considering if you're going with a full damage on the Gwen, you will not have a lot of sustainability. Versus if you're going in for that sustain route, you'll not really have a lot of damage per se to try and take on that Hilda. So these are the few things which you have to basically pick and choose how you're going to play around with it. We're running through the draft for the early phases. It's going to be exactly the same, but yeah, synchro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very excited what will change now, because we got the information that they're going to make a repick, so I'm very excited on what will the change or the difference since the draft before.
I think so in terms of bans in the second phase.
Yeah, this could be actually possible. I think the Khalid one was maybe a misban.
Maybe. Could have been possible. I think so Khalid was still a pretty decent.
No, no, no,
Maybe
no,
it's
no,
on the side of both.
no, no. They went instead for the Hanabi. Right now, they went for the Alice.
Alice, yeah, that was probably the mistake there. Yeah, right. Maybe that Hanabi was. But we'll now have to see about the bans though in this case, because that Harith is not going to be changing. It's going to remain same. Yeah, it's the Khalid and the Kalia. Both of them will be banned out. Straight up idea, and I pretty like it. I pretty much like it, right? Because you've got a very solid tanky front line of the Alice as well as the Basha.
Yeah, that's true. But also you're missing out a bit of damage. If we already have Alice on XP lane, we also have on the jungle position someone with not like quite a lot of damage. I mean, he can deal very good damage, but I mean, you can also dodge him very easily. So that's like, in my opinion, something that's not like that useful right now. But it's still, they have so much engagement. It depends right now on the Roma they're going to pick. If they're going to pick another one with like a very high engagement potential, then they have like actually a very great team fight. I mean, they just need to defend their damage dealers over them. But otherwise, it could be still hard without any damage.
That could be true. I think so. They still kind of need to lock into their goal laner, right? So maybe you can add in a bit more damage there. Considering you need physical damage right now, Claude might actually be a pretty solid shout because the Basha will dive, Alice will dive, Kimi can kite around on her own, so she's gonna be fine, and you will have someone that could eventually protect her. So you might want to go with a face front Claude, and it's gonna work out pretty well against the Guinevere as well along with Harith.
I mean, that's true. And high loss. I mean, they have so much front right now, and especially so much dive potential. They have the Bakshia who can easily dive, Ellis can easily dive, Hylos can easily dive, Kimi can also dive pretty quickly, especially for tower invades, ganking, jungle invades. So they have also with the Claude right now.
Yeah,
I would
go
say
for it.
that
Good
full
one.
esports needs to be very careful in this game because otherwise they're going to be dived like hell.
I like it. Now you got to pick up something for the anti-dive because you don't really have that. It's like a dive composition versus a dive composition. You do have the Marcel for the disengage, considering the time freeze is going to hold everyone down and lock them all out. But I don't think so. Lilia is the best of the best calls here. I,
Oh,
Zushin is banned out. Efars are taken away as well.
it's
I don't think
it's
so.
it's
Zation would also help you so easily.
it's actually
And they're
pretty
gonna
hard to
actually.
decide for the mid lane in this game because, as we already mentioned, they have very much dive potential, which make it pretty hard for a mid laner to survive against this comp because there are pretty many mid laners that get easily taken out. Lilia has her ultimate, so she can easily get out of dangerous situations, but it's still maybe not the best choice. But on the other hand, especially in the late game, she has also like a very high tank bursting potential, especially when she's sitting her skills very good. So I can kind of understand this pick.
Yeah, I mean, considering you going for an early wishing lantern, this might actually work out. So, to be honest with the options that were actually remaining, I think so Lilia was literally one of the best options. It's just the fact that I kind of don't like it because you don't have any proper anti-dive to work with. So with this, now all you need to do is just make sure that Cujo is the one who's landing in all those spatial migrations up on the faces of Bo's Queen as they move up in the land of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna be facing against one of the strongest teams in the Frozen Diva. It's for esports on the red, facing the wrath of Bo's Queen on the blue.
Yeah, but if I'm allowed to go once again for the draft, what I don't like about food esports, they don't have the proper engagement and the proper front, which could maybe a little problem for the side of food esports.
Highly possible.
And now we're going for the Lito. Oh,
Oh, hold on a second. Don't really want to expect that early burst coming in, but for esports, just moving all the way forward. This is the strength of having that Benedetta into the EXP lane. We have not really touched upon the topic of her that much, but the rotation speed is going to be. It's not going to be matched up by the Alice.
oh my God. Okay, I really need to say I really like Benedetta right now. It was such an easy dive over there.
Oh, and guess what? They want to try and make use of that a little bit more here. Zendaya seems to be in trouble. Will have to flicker out of there with the spatial migration now landing in. Okun seems to be in trouble. They'll have to hop all the way out. Just attempted to go in for the chase, but could not really end it up with a big win there.
Okay, I need to say that was played very well by the side of Food Esports, especially in the early game. The rotation of the Benedetta going to the mid lane just for the Leto fight, which was on the top side, was pretty huge. They got 3 kills out in the early game, which also already provided them a gold lead from 1K, a bit of XP lead as well. And I think this will make them the game much easier right now against this kind of tanky composition the side of Boss Queens has.
Yeah, right now that poke is going to be their best friend here. And Zendaya is actually keeping up, if anything, out damaging Lunaris in terms of that poke. Now with that 50-50, there we go. Electrifying blow just to zone the ball off, and Uno Hana steals away the turtle. Lunaris is able to get one though, but again frozen in place in time. Now you have Cujo running away back to the safety with the movement speed out there thanks to the river bush. Oh, hold on, Uno Hana almost catching down Lunaris. She will be able to survive down in mid though, so 1-for-0 trade. They just couldn't pick the turtle.
I actually need to say I didn't expect it Unohana to get the turtle over there, especially because of the ultimate of Alice, because she stunned all of them, but she was still able to get this turtle, which is actually quite impressive in my opinion, because she actually red-redived the Baxia, which is pretty good. But on the other side, what we saw over there, especially on the team fight, the side of Food Esports is missing a bit of the damage at the front right now, because Boss Queens just dived onto them, and they couldn't do pretty much about it. So they need to find a way to
Yeah.
play against it.
Go ahead, go ahead. hold on a second. Hold on. That facial migration might actually be a bit of an overcommitment there. Yes, there is no glorious path. The poke is going to be perfect. Let's see. Bursted down by Nora and Zendaya. That was a pretty solid pick from Kujo. I genuinely thought that she might actually survive, but look at where Unohana is cutting the wave. My goodness.
Yeah, I need to say, Food Esports. I know how they play, and they're doing very great. I'm watching very many of the streams, especially from Unohana, and it's actually quite impressive the kind of teamwork these guys are doing together. I really want to shout this out. So, as we already mentioned, Food Esports isn't an easy enemy you will face in this tournament. In my opinion, probably the most strongest team you can face over here.
Yep, that is true. Stall inside picked up by Miko up top, so the Harith is going to be coming online pretty soon now. Kuja has baited out the toys for Shans as well, with the Thorn of Ruin coming in. Okun will now be caught up in the no man's land, knocked out by the Violet Requiem. She is trying to buy enough time though, but the turtle is still going to be contested. Glorious Pathway drop down, the perfect time freeze comes in. And with that, Kujo is able to take the turtle away. That's another steal now, as Katsumi will have to run back to safety. She can't really do anything but rather claim her purple, as the orange is going to be stolen away.
Okay, I need to say we have the gold lead of 4,000 already after 5 minutes. It's actually quite impressive. It's almost 1k gold per minute. It's actually very good. I really like it, especially also the kind of rotation the side of Food Esports is doing over here. I mean, if we remember for the first minute, Unohana is rotating from the bot side to the top side to the lead to creep, and she's doing it the whole single game, which is pretty good because it provides the extra damage. It provides the lead into the team fights because they always like one more against. It's mostly a 4v3 or 5v4, so this provides very much space for the side of Food Esports over here.
Oh, look at the gang. This could be perfect. Holy smokes, Lunar has just got deleted there. And again, with the time freeze, you don't have anywhere to run away. Excuse me. Barely tries to survive as Unohana will go in for the chase. Instantly finishes her off with a 10-1 lead now. The 4,000 goal lead which you mentioned, Synchro, has now increased to almost 7.
I'm actually very stunned by the performance of Food Esports. I actually need to say this. This is very good. I mean, they're leaving the bot side. Okun is trying to trade the bot turret, which she didn't even get. While Unohana is on the top side with her team providing 4 kills. Katsumi also died by Kuju alone, so Kuju is right now already able to 1v1 the Baxia, which is quite impressive at this at this time of the game, because Guinevere doesn't have like that much early damage against tanky heroes. But right now she's already bursting them down without any problems. And we already mentioned it before, Boss Queens is one of the best teams probably as well in this tournament. And they're getting stunned right now by Food Esports without any problems. I mean, we're seeing a 7k gold lead, we're seeing 3 turret lead, which is quite impressive. 9 kills lead also. This is actually a very huge performance for the side of Food Esports over here.
Yep. Fully controlling the entire game right now with their macro. And this is not the first time that we are seeing them make this play. They have done that with the same Marcel composition with the Guinevere. No one has actually found the counter to that. Maybe this one fight could actually be Nora just able to run away thanks to the time freeze. And with that now Zendaya going in for that poke as well. A lot of shadow energy bombs hopping there on their faces, and the mid-holy shield taken care of. Less than 8 minutes into the game right now, Synchro, and they're almost going in towards that 10,000 gold lead mark.
Not even that, they already got
gold away.
They already got the passive of 2 inhibitor turrets. So with one lord, as soon as they got the first lord, they have such huge space, because this lord will definitely have the use if they're pushing with it. Because there is no turret passive anymore.
Now. Absolutely, and Okun cannot soak up the damage of at least 4 people who have been over farming. She's going 0-2-1 right now, and I don't think so that's going to help her out. The DHS completed by Excuse Me. The question is Lixi, Katsumi, Okun, neither of them have got enough sustain to try and hold on the fort until that blazing duet actually catches them off. But that facial migration will catch Lixi. And up there, the mid inhib open for business.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Bro, I'm quite impressed. I'm so impressed right now. I mean, Claude is doing it good. Excuse me, is doing it very good. She is going for the turret. She's trying to push, trying to get her farm, which she's actually doing quite good. But I don't think that this will make a big difference right now. Because if we're looking for the goal difference, it's 10k, 6 turret lead. I mean, they got the kill lead also by very far. I don't even think that Boss Queens can really try to take the Lord from the side of Food Esports. They will probably get it with ease, but it's still, if they come into the late game, which seems for me right now like impossible that Boss Queens is coming into the late game in this game, I think they might have the chance to win.
They will have to buy time for Excuse Me and Lunaris. That is the main thing. She's picked up the corrosion site now. That means she has got the entire Trinity. But hold on, Nora. She can eventually get that set. A big one as well as Kuja jumps in with the Thorn thrown in the back line to try and zone all of them off. There's still the free hitting Claude up on your faces. Kuja's going to be face tanking everything with the Winter Crown. And she goes in for the Violet Requiem. Will still be finished off. As now there joins in the Benedetta, hopping in from behind. Excuse Me is still there, but no blazing duet available. It's a 3-for-1 trade. And man, this could very well be a 3-for-4. Or rather, yeah. Excuse Me is not surviving that even with the BMI. A 4-for-1 if anything, and the inhib up top is going to be taken down along with bot. It is possible that they might end up the entire game. Okun does not really have that good of a wave clear. The minions are going to be spawning in right now, but can she hold on for her team to respawn? They will be here, but the numbers disadvantage is going to be big. Another freeze of the frame. You have the Lord stopped up as well. Fraction wants to catch one, but it doesn't matter. The base is going to be targeted as Miko gets a mega. Blazing to it to try and clear the things off, but it only targets 2 as for esports. With the same Marcel composition, will continue their win streak.
That's wow. That's such a huge performance. I really want to point out Unohana in this game for sure. I mean, she were always at the right spot. She were always at the right spot. She were always there, pulling out this Petrify, pulling out her ultimate, securing the kills, and doing everything she can. Very huge performance. Also, Nora did such a great job on the Marcel. I mean, the stun was always there, so pretty huge performance of the side of Food Esports, not gonna lie.
True. And Miko also understood the job that she had, right? That she has to focus down on the farm. Whatever the case be, she needs to get those items up on Harith quick, while also making sure that the enemy is not stanky enough for her damage to be insignificant. She just made sure that she gets those Starlium Scythes into the Feather of Heaven, and also maybe the Holy Crystal, the Divine Glaive, which she preferred over towards that stage of the game, to make sure that she can also hit like a truck, which eventually happened. And if this continues, Foot Esports might end up closing down the entire series 2-0, which we obviously don't expect to happen, but the way how they've been playing, I don't doubt that now.
I'm getting pretty scared right now. I asked Food Esports for a scrim, and I'm actually getting pretty scared right now. Oh man.
I wish you all the very best.
I think I will get cooked as well like this.
As I said, I wish you all the very best for that, my man, because it seems pretty evident. With how their performance is, it seems pretty evident you're going to be cooked. But on the other side of the spectrum now. Go ahead.
This performance very good, but I really want to think about what Boss Queens will pull up against it right now, because they tried it right now with a very like tanky composition with like much diving potential, but they couldn't even use it because the side of Food Esports from the start of the game they went with much more diving against him. They went for the invade on the jungle creeps. They took out the first 3 enemies just on the Leto side, which was quite impressive. Again, a shout out to Unohana for this rotation over there, which is actually quite very good, especially because she can rotate much faster on the Benedetta as an Alice. and also wave clear much faster,
True.
which provided a lot of space for the side of Food Esports just with this fight over there.
That's one of the big things. I mean, at this point, they just kind of outdrafted Boers Queens entirely. With the Marcel, along with the Guinevere pick itself, I mentioned that they've kind of gotten the control of the draft, so it will be difficult to deal with them. Plus, if you also add into the factors with how the Benedetta was playing against the Alice, they kind of remove that entire advantage that Boers Queens wanted to pull off into that draft. With having that
I
really
would
diving front line, they just removed that early game access.
Yeah, I think that was also like a quite a big of a problem for the side of War Screens because they didn't really have the early damage. I mean, sure they had a bit of damage, but they didn't have like the constant and high output of damage as the side of Food Esports had, especially with the Lilia, with the Benedetta. They had much more damage in the early game, which provided them much more space into these team fights. And I think this could also be a huge, or could be like one of the biggest problems the side of Boss Queens had in the game. Because they didn't like came to the point where they could use their composition with the Cloud, with the Kimi, and pull out the damage. So I really think that this was like one of the biggest problems in this game for the set of boss queens.
True. Now they're on the receiving end of that draft. Are you gonna ban with the Valentina is the question, or will you respect the Marcel? Yeah, it's a Marcel respect. That means the Valentina is left up, so Foot might actually lock that one in. This is
Yeah,
the
but
strength of that blue side right now. Yeah.
I still need to say I don't think that Valentina is like that big of a priority for the first pick. I mean, sure she's strong, and I mean we don't need to talk about it that right now in this current meta she's probably also one of the best mages, except from Eve and Zuxin. But it's still I wouldn't say it's like that much of a priority pick, especially not on the first pick.
I mean, it just kind of removes the potential of both queens picking up that block. That's the main thing. Plus, you can lock it up for yourself. But yeah, they're gonna lock in the Alice this time around. All right,
I would really
having that
like if
priority in the AHP
boss
lane.
I would really like if Boss
Right.
Queens is going to pick up this Benedetta now.
I don't think so. Maybe they can lock in the carry on the other.
I neither think so. I neither think so, but I would really like it if they try to do like the same composition, but try to be better than Food Esports with this composition.
Let's see. For now, I think so. They're gonna be locking in maybe the Grok. Sounds like a good shout.
Could be possible, but as you already mentioned, they're
Takes the
going to
carry.
pick the carry. Yeah, and what I really like to see from Nora today is the Khalid. I really want to see this Khalid.
Yeah, I don't think so. We're gonna see this. It's fine. Yeah, I would probably agree with the Khalid. Sounds like a good shout. Pairs up
Don't
well
say
with
you
the
don't think so.
Alice.
Don't say you don't think so, because I play a bit with her, and whenever there is not a Grok or like a Marcel open, there is the Khalid pick.
It's a Ranger. Having that range advantage with the ability to kite around a bit. I like it. And if the Valentina is locked in, then she could actually be a pretty solid pick though, but they'll lock in the Zacian.
Yeah, I actually think. I mean,
Alright.
Valentina would have been also a good pick, but I think Zetian is actually very good, especially if you time your ultimate with the Phaser ultimate, which is quite hard because Phaser's ultimate has like a lower cooldown than the Zetian ultimate. But still, especially on the important team fights like the Turtle fights, the Lord fights, you can out counter Phaser completely with the Zetian ultimate.
You definitely can. Well, the big problem with her ultimate is that it's got quite a big cooldown, at least in the early game, until and unless you
Yes.
build those cooldown reduction items. And with the way how FUT esports like to play, we've both seen how important that early game is. So it kind of doesn't pair off that well with what they're trying to cook. We've got the
For sure.
Guinevere as the jungle, the poke is going to be good, but something in that EXP to try and out-rotate the Alice. Yu Jong
And I
might,
also
Yu Jong might actually seem a good one.
I also think it could be like a big of a problem if you picking the Zetian and building like the cooldown items first, because you definitely miss a bit of damage or a bit of item passives like the Antil or something like this if you're focusing in the early game on the cooldown item, which could provide this for the side of Food Esports actually, yeah, a bit of space for taking out the Zetian like much easier.
True. As of now, the band of the Harley, it's a good band, I must say. Could have
I
picked
think
off the
so too. I mean,
carry and hit the Zetian pretty easily.
Ali right now probably one of the strongest junglers, very strong. So definitely an understandable ban, I guess. Especially because he can easily take out the Phaser, the Granger. I think in the late game also an Alice, but still be hard. And I think it would be waste of time to go for the Alice in the late game, also for an Harley.
Yu Jong should be picked up right now. I really want to see that. Or maybe they just want to let it slide for the while being, pick it up as the very last. But you want to show away your roamer so early. Kaja could be a good shout here. You will have a bit of a poke. You already have the front line in the form of Gwen. Plus, you need someone who can actually protect the carry in the back line while also setting her up for success. But they want a pretty straightforward, solid front liner. They're going to go in for the Gato to maybe allow Katsumi to have that breathing room. But holy smokes, yeah, that. If she locks in the fan, this game is done.
I can tell you her Fanny is very good.
Myriad of stars. We race towards the
I,
future.
uh, I, I was lucky today to see it for myself, and it was a very impressive performance.
What do you pick now to try and counter that?
It will be hard. I mean, it's still a Yuzong open, Lapu Lapu's also still open, but it's still hard. I mean, they having the Fanny, they having a good front. They have Alice, they have Hilda. It's actually good front. Maybe not like that engagement potential Roma, but it's
Yeah,
still a pretty annoying Roma.
I was thinking something along the lines of putting the Gato in the EXP and picking up a Kaja right now. You need someone to stop the Fanny. Otherwise, things are going to be troublesome. But they lock in the Phobius. It is a fair shout. I think so. Something that the Yujong might have done. Phobius can also do pretty well. But yeah, you don't have anyone to stop the Fanny. It's going to be tough, man. Synchro, who do you think has won the draft? I think Fort.
Okay, I need to say I also thought in the last game the draft of Wars Queens is better. But the way how Food Esports is playing, I think it doesn't matter right now what I'm thinking about the draft. I really only think that the difference of the playstyle and probably also the experience will still go for the side of Food Esports.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Highly possible right now, as with this, ladies and gentlemen, we move into the land of dawn, potentially the last time for Bo's Queen, because they have a do or die situation. They win this, we move to game 3. They drop this one, and for the esports will become the first semi-finalist. Let's see if they've got in them, or will it be Bo's Queen pushing us all for game number 3. Right now towards the mid we go.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I'm quite excited for this game. I need to tell you, I'm very excited for the outcome of this game.
Let's see. That early invade again, hopping in. This rotation from for the esports, man, it's been always on point. They're gonna steal away the gargoyle, or rather the bear camp, and now, yeah, Gojo's gonna steal away the entire top farm. Hold on. She wants to try and play aggressive against Okun as well. Who was pretty low in that HP. That's a bit of a pressure.
And Kujo
Eventually
already
now
got also
evaded with that.
2 minions. She
Yeah,
already got 2 jungle creeps on the of Boss Queen's jungle, which also provides probably that Katsumi won't be level 4 for the turtle.
exactly the point. And now with Guinevere not getting ready for the first turtle, you know that snowball is going to kick in for Forty Esports. Boars Queens might have to pull a rabbit out of the hat right here in this early game. Otherwise, things are looking tough.
Yeah, but on the other side, Katsumi also going for the jungle of Food Esports over there, which is already pretty good. I mean, she's trying to take the advantage back, but it could be a problem, especially because Hilda sees her, and Katsumi's got the level 4 because of the speed. I need to say, if Kuju would have got it earlier, they would have, she would be level 4 for the turtle.
It's kind of tough right now, though. Yeah, she still made it. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty sure she ended up stealing one of the buffs away, though. But here's the big thing. Now with Kuja onto that Fani, she has to take care of that purple buff first. She cannot go in for the contest for this turtle without that. Now that gives Boar's Queen a slight bit of a window to work with it. With the feathered airstrike now, I'd want to stop Ukun on her tracks. But this is big as the Phoenix Fury secures that first blood. Uno Hana is here for the answer back. But here's the thing. Kuju is going to be joining the fight pretty soon. Coming in from the backline with the Thorn of Ruin, catching at least onto 3 people. Now you will have the first one taken care of. Lunaris Lover. It's a 4-for-1 trade again for Foot Esports. Maybe they want to make it a 5-for-1 as Lixie hops back to safety, but this turtle is going away.
It's actually so sad to see that Fanny was such a long time on the blue buff because she also got annoyed by the carry. And Boss Queens were with 4 people on the turtle, but weren't able to get it on time, lost the fight, and also lost the turtle. This is actually pretty sad to see, to be honest.
Right now, they're just playing on their win conditions. Zoning away, excuse me as well. She's going to be having a tough time into her goal lane as well. On the other side, Sky Piercer picked up, so this one pick could be big, but a good answer from Boar's Queen. Instantly punishing Zendaya for being off position now. Getting picked off twice on that far side in the early game. This might actually be the ray of hope that Boar's Queens have been looking for.
Yeah, but it's still, if you're looking for the gold, it's still a 2k gold lead for 3 spots again after 3 minutes, which is again very good. And they can build it up. I mean, they have definitely, again, probably more damage in the early game, which will again provide them more space into the game. And just the vision Kujo getting right now from Nora, quite impressive.
Yeah, that is big, and because of that, she's also able to take down Lunaris, make it Katsumi falling down as well thanks to the feathered airstrike. Zendaya just doing a perfect job on that one. Even though she was picked up twice, she's brought herself back with those 2 kills. And now this is going to be a big problem for both Queens, because we're in the 4.5 minute mark of the game, Synchro, and it's a 4k lead already.
Yeah, and this is actually quite impressive. They will probably also... Okay, Gato is going in, so they can't provide the turret, but still Nico is able to burst down a bit the carry. I need to say, that's what I mentioned in the game. Even though I really like the draft of the side of Boss Queens, I think the difference of the experience is just too much. It's just too much.
It's going to be problematic right now. Maybe they want to try and catch a few more. Oh, lucky that the stun did not connect, though. But the damage on Excuse Me is a bit too much for her to handle. So she will have to give away that tower right now, leaving every single thing that might be flowing pretty soon there. The next turtle going in for 40 esports again. Yeah, this looks tough. Miko has picked up the second item, so she's snowballing onto this Granger right now. In the mid lane, they're not really having a lot of success. On every single front, we have 40 esports winning.
Yes, and that will be a huge problem right now for Boss Queens, because again, Food Esports is 5k in the gold lead, almost 6k. This Hitian will probably fall now.
Yeah, she ain't surviving, and Okun right now being left alone on an island is going to be in trouble too. They have this Hilda doing a phenomenal job right now in that early game. Okun's going
And
0-3. Lunar is 1-4. They're taking away all the buffs right from the second minute mark, and now they want to take this mid, sieging all the way up as the Thorn of Ruin connected, and all the kills are being fed to Miko. Kujo hops in to secure that one away. But I don't think so. It matters. They're going with 8k goal lead in less than 7 minutes in this game.
bro. I don't know, but just to remind you, we saw Boss Queens playing before, how they dominated their enemies, and just see the difference right now, how they getting dominated like they dominated other enemies in the previous games.
They're just focusing down all of their Wrath and Boss Queen. And I don't think so that AOG was pretty good, Lexi, because now she doesn't have anything to survive. She can try and maybe sustain, all thanks to that Gato passive. But you can't catch Miko kiting around with a mega kill right now. 4-0-3, and here's the thing, she is on a 40 stack Sky Piercer with the Malefic Roar picked up. She'll be piercing through the armors of Okun and Lixie. For esports, man, they're just too strong at this point.
Bro, they're so good. They're doing it so well in this game. Also in the last game, they're doing it so well every single game, which is actually quite impressive, especially if we see against what kind of enemies they're playing. Because for me, I really thought this could be a very equal game, you know, and it's not even slight of equal. It's they're getting dominated like hell right now.
At this point, I don't even see a way of coming back in this game. Considering, yes, you've got Lunaris, you've also got Excuse Me, who will scale up towards the later stages of the game, but for esports are not going to allow you to reach towards that later stages of the game.
Nah, they're not allowing them. They will not allow them to come even get the bit back into this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough right now. Kujo wanted to hop in yet again. Forces out the passive of the Zaytian. Now will be going back, running all the way. But hold on, the flicker being committed as well by Excuse Me. Now this is tough. She wanted to catch her down, but they just don't have enough resources. And look at Miko solo zoning away 3 members of Boar's Queen. And now they're going to all collapse onto Excuse Me, who's got nothing to run away. It's a mega kill for a Hilda.
Nora is doing such a good job. This roam is so crazy. Oh man. I don't know what to say about this. This isn't a message to their enemies right now, this is also a message to their next enemies.
I mean, you can do everything now. They did every single thing right. With the Violet Requiem, with the AOG, but they just don't have enough damage right now. It's only Miko who's falling down in this entire fight.
Just look at this kind of composition that Boss Queens were able to pull off right now, and they still lost the team fight. This is actually insane. I mean, we saw the Jennifer going in with the ultimate, we saw the Gato following up, Phobius following up. They got them, but they still lost the team fight. Oh man.
That's just because of this humongous goal lead of what?
It's so
12,000
painful
right
to look.
now? 12,000, man. We're
so
at
painful.
10th minute in the game.
I feel actually quite a bit sorry for the side of Boss Queens. If you're doing such good engage and you still lose it, it's actually very painful to watch.
Let's see if they can actually manage to go in for the defense, right? Because they don't really have the holy shields of up top. Only just one. That is the bottom lane. Oh, that could have been a big bait to Okun. Now she's all the way caught alone, left on an island, who has to run back to safety. And thanks to the Phoenix Fury, she was able to do so as well. The mid inhib is now going to be chunked down a bit though, but Unohana is tagged up quite low. So the poke is starting to come alive for Boar's Queen. And I believe if they hold on for a little while
I
longer,
wouldn't
they
say
might
so,
be able to
because
defend.
look how much they needed to pull into Unohana to poke her even low like this.
Yeah, oh my goodness! There could never have been a better feathered airstrike all the way in the back line, and on the back of it now, Okun's left alone with a triple kill coming in for Miko. They want to end the game, make it a maniac. Is it a savage in the quarterfinals? We have no clue about that. We'll get all of the info later, but man, it's for esports. Who will be the first team to move in the semi-finals, and this team has not dropped a single freaking game.
Bro, this Alice engage right now with the flicker, that was crazy. And the follow-up from the whole team. I'm
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I can't say anything about it actually. I'm just looking forward to see the next games where Food Esports is playing, because this is a team that provides every single game a very huge performance. So you shouldn't miss the next games of Food Esports. But I mean, we're still having one best of three left today. So they set the bar very high right now for me. They set the bar of expectations for the next game pretty high. I need to say it. But I feel like the other two teams are not able to pull off such a performance.
Yep. And with this, let's just say that whoever is going to be facing against for esports, they better be prepared, especially for that Marcel who has been causing chaos across the land of Dawn. And now this is something which almost every other team will need to look forward to, considering you cannot let this one slide through. And Synchro, let's just be honest, this is only the first quarterfinals. You mentioned about it. We also have the second quarterfinals, which will be up and ready for going, and that will be the next BO3 between Zero Vision and Bringing Bads. And if this is what we saw in the first one, I don't know what we're going to see in the second one. I am very excited.
As I already mentioned, Food Esports set the bar very high right now for the next best of three we're gonna see it right now. They set the bar very, very high. Because Food Esports performance very huge. I mean, I don't think there was anyone who didn't made a very good performance. I think every one of them did very, very good. For me personally, my MVP of the game was definitely Unohana. She did, especially on the Benedetta, a very good job, but also on the Alice. But not to point the rest leave behind. Also, Noah did a very good job. Zendaya, even if she got taken out 2 times in the early game, she still did a very, very good job. Also, Kujo on the jungle,
Yes.
and Miko also on the gold lane. I think every one of them can get a shout out, because this performance is something you can watch to learn actually.
Picture perfect is all I'm going to say. Not a single doubt there. And let's just be honest, my man. It's going. Both Queens, they showcased a pretty phenomenal performance throughout this entire event. We saw them winning constantly, game after game. We knew the potential that this entire roster has. We know that they understand the meta. They like to play around with some of their comfort picks, but most of it is around what's working right now. On the other side of the spectrum now, all they need to work on is the in-game adaptation. How you instantly adapt to what your opponent is trying to do, so that you can adjust your in-game strategies to. That's the kind of experience that they require, which they have gotten from this game. So it's a very good learning experience. And I, again, will give a huge shout out to Bose Queens for making this entire run such a flawless one. Even though they fell short one step before those semis, it is totally fine. As I said, it's a big learning experience for them. But now let's talk about the next two teams, Synchro, because the winner will eventually move up in the semi-finals, joining the members of FUT Esports. We have got Zero Vision taking on Bringing Bads.
Zero Vision versus Bringing Bats. I didn't saw Bringing Bats playing yet, to be honest. I wasn't watching these games. But I definitely saw Zero Vision playing, which also had an outrageous performance. So I also remember them playing very good. If I'm remembering right, IIE is also part of this team, so they're doing a very good job as well. That's why I already said I think we can also expect a lot of this best of three, but still this bar that Food Esports set it into this tournament today, the 2 best of threes today, is very high. And by Baby Irie as well. I know both of them, IIE and Baby Irie. I know both of them. Played with both of them already. also very good players, I guess. But the reason that I don't know their opponent team right now means I can't say if it will be like in game as we already saw right now, or if it will be like more equal game. But I'm very excited to find this out right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be super excited to be very honest because we have already seen the performance of what's up Bang in the previous one, Apricot. We had Sunlight, Baby Irie, and Ayaye. I hope that I pronounced the name correctly. But the, even the previous few games as well, right? I believe the only time that they actually fell was against the Boars gaming roster. Apart from that, they have been pretty tough in terms of their game. And bringing Bads on the other side, I mean, you could keep on talking about what this roster brings on the table, and I'd always say is the combination between what Kage does along with how Lady plays her game. Those are the two core players who the team really revolves around with, and Short, Beba, and Sheila. And just make sure that these two players are the ones who are enabled into making sure that the team is just winning those games.
It's hard for me to say, as I already mentioned, I didn't saw them playing since yet. So I don't know who of them plays good or how good they in general play together. I don't know. Can you tell me more about it?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm gonna have a look at their previous few matches as well because if I'm not wrong, they did not lose even a single one, right? Bringing Bads previously haven't really played against in the previous ones except for their group stages matchups, and they ended up winning. Hold on a second, let me pull all of that stuff up. Yeah, okay, all right. So the only team that they actually lost against was FUT Esports, which was understandable because FUT Esports, being FUT Esports, were pretty solid. Apart from that, they had one more team into their group, which they were able to easily close out their game against, and probably was that 2-0 coming in, which we normally would only see from these top few teams. Let me just pull that statistic out as well. Yeah, it was Sphinxes. They faced off against Sphinxes. That game was pretty fun to watch as well. And if anything, I think so. This roster has got what it takes to try and confront the ones that they're facing right now.
I'm really looking forward to find it out because, as I already mentioned, I know IIE and Baby Irie, both of the teams they facing right now. But it's still for me. I'm very excited to find out how they will play against them and how it will come out. Like if it will be a 2-1, 2-0, and for which team it will be the win and the next stage into this tournament, and which team will fall behind and needs to train to get for the next time into a better space.
Hmm. I want to have a look at the. To be honest, I really want to jump into the draft itself because we already know how good they normally play. We have had an idea about their previous drafts as well. I'll be pulling some of that up pretty soon right now, considering the previous few games that they ended up playing were pretty comfortable. Alright, and we also had some pretty fun plays as well, right? I mentioned about Lady and how she likes to play those dive in heroes. Last time she went up playing that Suyu into the jungle, and we know how good Suyu is working right now. So that's something Zero Vision will have to be careful about to make sure that they don't end up falling onto her pick like that. And for the side of bringing bads, Synchro, they really like to play around those utility roamers, the supportive roamers like the Florin. Maybe something along the lines of those Angelas, Mathildas. We haven't really seen those few picks, but we have seen the Florin come out to be pretty good. And they also like to give comfort to their goal laner, that is Shot. She went up with the Hanabi last time they played against Sphinx, and she did a pretty fantastic job in that.
Uh, I agree, but still, oh man, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited, especially after the last game we saw. Right now, I'm more excited than I was in the game before actually, because we saw such great performance, and I really want to see this performance also in this game right now.
Yep. On the other side of the spectrum, right? I kind of let me pull off some of the stuff from Zero Vision 2 because this team was also not that easy to move up here. I believe they played their games pretty early on. The last game that they played was against Boars Queens, which ended up in their victory, probably. Yeah, Zero Vision were the ones who actually defeated Boars Queen previously. And to be very honest, that was the game that ended up in that 2-0 as well. No problems for them, but Sunlight was being the main player for that lineup. We we've always talked about how good she plays. Ayaya in the mid as well likes to take control. Baby Irie is the one who ends up being their late game insurance in most of those ones. But this is the team that has showcased the potential of going in with those pick-off compositions. We haven't seen a lot of Kalias in this entire event, but whenever we've seen it, Zero Visions have been the ones to pick it up.
We will see. We're definitely going to see. And we're also going to see who might has the chance to play against Food Esports in the next few days. But I think I don't know. If I need to make a guess right now, I would say this game goes to Zero Vision.
That could be possible. I'm not going to count out bringing back so easily though, because again, the way how they played against for esports, they were the ones who controlled the entire thing. While on the other side of the spectrum, Zero Vision were the ones who ended up topping in their group. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Considering they matched up against Bows Queens as well, ended up winning that matchup too, and then moving all the way up, first seeded in their own group. They know how to play with the comfort. They know how to pick up those meta heroes to try and counter what the enemy is bringing on the table. All of these things work out really well for this roster. Bringing Bads on the other side, they really know how to find that one mistake of their opponent and then capitalize on the back of it. They do not let any mistake go unpunished. Even against Sphinxes, right? The way how this team was playing, if anything, they had somewhere around 7 to 8,000 goal lead in under 10 minutes of the game. So they have showcased that early game strength. Zero Vision will have to stop that snowball.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I know Baby Irie playing pretty much of supports the last times I played with her, so it's still they probably going to have a better draft or like better, I would say hero comp like hero pool than they did when I played with them. So it's hard to say pretty much about it on who will performance like who how will they perform. But I know Baby Irie playing the Florin very much, especially if we're looking for this season with 140 games on an 80% win rate, which is actually quite impressive. But it will be very hard. It will be very hard. I mean, this
That
Rome,
is
especially if you're giving her supports, you know you will probably going to lose. But at the other side, you need to know how to play against it, and you can play against it.
I'd want to see these teams dive deep into that draft, considering bringing Bads. We've seen their performances. Zero Visions on the other side are the ones who like to go for the pretty solid meta. They are the ones who have shown the double marksman setups as well, with the Yi Sung Shin into the jungle, Go Lane being hopped in the hands of Baby Irie, if I'm not wrong. So we have seen those kind of performances from them. And even in that game, the performance was actually pretty solid. It wasn't shabby. So that is something we also have to look forward to. The way how they can snowball out of control. But bringing Bad on that goal lane, that is going to be something Zero Vision will have to be really careful about. I want that matchup between Baby Irie and Shot, that will kind of determine the pace and the direction in which this match will flow.
For sure. I completely agree with you at this point. And finally, we're going up into the draft.
Finally, we're here. We've been waiting for a long time, ladies and gentlemen, but don't worry, we've brought you the action out here right now. And with the first ban of that Kalia, it seems like Zero Vision have done their homework. They understand that bringing bads have shown picks like that, so they do not want to let this one go in their hands.
We're seeing the Kalea, man. I mean, I really like it. Kalea in some kind of compositions can be very, very strong, but for me, in my opinion, it's not like the priority one. I mean, if the side of bringing bats is playing her very much, I understand it, but otherwise, it's maybe a kind of wasted ban, I think.
I wouldn't really say the wasted ban though, because I do understand the direction where you're coming from, so that does make sense. But it's a straight up thing where Zero Vision right now are target banning bringing bats. And that's how you could see the reaction on the faces of all the people as well. Like Kage was also laughing about it, Shilian was also laughing. And the reason for that is because, yeah, they played these picks in the previous game, they were able to dominate with them. So they kind of have this idea about, yeah, it's highly possible that they might pick this thing up, these picks up again, so you do not want to give them
Grant
all the time.
immortality or death.
Oh man, Kagura getting banned, Alice, Carry. I mean, Carry, we already talked about it. We saw in the last games what kind of compositions Alice can make, especially in the team fights, what kind of engages she can do. So, very, very good, not gonna lie. But at the other hand, Kagura ban must be, in my opinion, also a target ban because otherwise there is no reason to ban a Kagura. Um, but yeah,
Butterfly is born by thy wish, guided by lantern's light.
Zushin being banned, it seems like Apricot doesn't really want to play with that. And they don't want bringing bats to pick her up as well, so seems like a Freya could be a nice call. Maybe even a Sora, since it's been left open, and you might see Wasa Bane pick that one up. It is going to be their choice about what they want to go forward.
I mean, with Shin, it's also always in every single game you can better ban it or you know very good how to play against it. Otherwise, you won't leave it open. But Freya, I mean, it is an understandable ban. I mean, it's probably one of the best bans, but I really want to to see this hero scheme played, by the way.
Valor and royalty in a dead body.
Good secure on the Leomon. Priority pick, early jungler, secure. Now comes the answer. Left the
I mean,
clock
we
open.
see the Leo mod on the first. You're going a Leo mod first pick. And I mean, the reactions on the side of bringing bats, I think this says all. I mean, they got Grok and they got the Sora on the XP lane. On the other hand, of Zero Vision regarding the Leo mod, we're seeing also the Valentina getting picked up,
Oh no,
especially
what?
against Grok and Sora. Both ultimates are very good. Also the Zetian. I mean, I see pretty many performances of IIU with the Zetian, which is very good to be honest. So I don't know if bringing bats should be too happy about these picks right now because I still think that Zero Vision is able to pull up a draft to play out and play against them like very easily.
We're discussing about how Lady likes to pick Suyu up. So that's something which has been brought back in again. Valen, the EXP, Zetian in the mid, you pick up the Sora ultimate, so you have this pick-off kind of composition, which likes to brawl, which likes to team fight. But if you are playing that against a Grog, then it becomes even more tough for you to deal with. So, right now it's a Batang ban. I think Zero Vision can actually go in for a utility roamer in this draft. Or maybe they just simply want to go for a straightforward frontliner and they ended up with
Among the
maybe a
planes
Claude
exists the
or maybe
equilibrium,
something more
which
comfortable
I
for
was
them in the
made
gold
for.
lane.
This land is our
We
homeland.
don't
And
think
it will
Razor will
soon
be a
be
good
your
shout
burial
here.
ground.
Oh man, I really like the idea of Badang Badang. I mean, Eve also pretty good, especially on the side of mid lane, can be very dangerous for Zetian, but Lapu Lapu is it's the same point. Also against Zetian, very strong. Lilia, I mean, you can do, but also, in my opinion, wouldn't be like that kind of ban I would do.
I mean, they're kind of lowering down the mid lane options, that's all. I don't think so far so would be a good shout
The
here.
southern seas are
Because
my
again,
domain.
the Valentina can steal that ultimate away as well, and Leomord will be the big disruptor. So, just simply don't go for that ban. Lilia could be pretty annoying with the shadow energy bombs. She'd be able to have a good poke on sunlight. But to be honest, I kind of concur with you on the point about her being banned out. I think so she should have been left open. That would have been a lot better scenario for Zero Vision. She then picking up
I'm
that
born
Kadita.
with talent.
Oh, it's a Gwen Rome, alright.
Yeah, but Guinevere Rome, I think this can also work. And I wouldn't say it's Rome, I think they're going to play it on the gold lane, maybe?
The champion
Never,
spirit alone.
never mind.
reigns
Okay,
It's a Rome
it will
Gwen.
be the Rome position.
The,
I was actually a bit,
yeah, the
I was
EXP
actually a bit
is
confused.
valid. It's fine, man. Happens to the best of us. When I saw the Valen and Zatian, initial thought was, alright, one of them is going to go through. And I realized, oh, hold on a second. Valen is a good counter of the Sora EX. Not a counter per se, but something to brick wall that.
Sniper ready. Give me a
I
target.
really like the idea of going Kadita over here, especially because she can easily going in to dive for the Granger, also the Zetian Leomord. I don't know if she can one-shot him like that easily, but still deals quite a lot of damage to her.
Now the main job of Shelian in this draft is going to be to break the passive of Ayayu. As soon as that passive is off, things are going to get very easy for Lady there, Biba as well as Kage. Ladies and gentlemen, out with the Leslie locked up. I don't know how well she's going to pan out though, but at least in terms of that laning phase, Baby Irie is going to have a pretty back and forth time against Shot. As we move up in the second semi-finals of the evening, Zero Vision will be taking on Bringing Bads. We have seen both of these teams perform previously, but now stepping in the land of dawn where the stakes are so high. Let's see which one of them breaks versus which one of them makes up.
Who do you think will win just based on the draft?
It is tough to call, man, because the execution is kind of similar on both the ends. I think so. It might actually be Bringing Bads.
Oh man, I think just because two of them are friends of mine, I'm going for Zero Visions. But I think with Grok and Sora, even though they're getting the Leomord and the Valentina on the other side, I think Zero Vision will play it better.
It's gonna be big. Right now they want to try and go in for the same grade as well. The retreat used up though, but with the Blade Surge, Lady instantly secures that. Does not really give this one away to Sunlight. And now we'll have a better time in farming her own jungle, considering Sunlight has been delayed in hers for quite a bit.
Oh man. I think, but I need to say, especially for the Vision on the side of Zero Visions, the Guinevere is doing it actually very good. She's providing the vision all the time, so they can't get like taken out that easily. But on the other side, the Grok is doing a very great job on the gold lane, providing the Granger to recall that he can't get his farm. On the other side, also the Suyu is going for the Valentina over there. Maybe for the Leomord, that's the big question if they know they are in there. But the Leomord definitely knows there's someone in there.
Right now, wants to go in for the final seed as well. Lady runs back to safety. Now with the evil quill in the blade surge, tries to run away, but Apricot catches the first blood. There was a bang as well, instantly taking down the second. Lady and Shilian dealt with instantly thanks to the Phoenix Fury. Weber was nowhere to be seen in that fight, and Zero Vision just capitalized on it.
I need to say this was a very huge, like, what means very huge? It was a very great engage of the Leomords. He waited till the Sora came out, even though I think he didn't know that Suyu was in that bush, because I think he wanted to go for the Skavita, but at the same time, the Suyu went out of the bush, which provided them to get actually both of them. Especially with the Sora following up very quickly, the Zetiam ultimate makes it very easy for them.
Big pick onto shot up top. Now you've got Lady hopping in, but she's a bit too late with even. The steed now expended. Shilian has to run back to safety, and she's going to be brought out of that tower, dealt with, sent back to the fountain. And you're going to catch Lady as well with that knockup. Massive from Zero Vision. They get one in consolation, but Apricot will give her life every single time to trade for Lady.
I mean, that's what we're seeing here right now is what I already mentioned. I think Zero Vision is right now here the team who has like more experience and like better plays with a better synergy together as a team. Because they diving the turrets also without any problems. Even though the Roma Apricot died for it, but they still got out the Suyo already 2 times. They killed the Kadita already 2 times. They were able to kill the Sora and the Leslie. So the Roma of the side of bringing that is the only one who is able to stay alive since yet.
Massive knockout
Also-
onto Leslie. Now this is the big problem. You've also got the rough phase used by Shilian. Now she's gonna be toppled down. The chase is there. The petrify of the face though. But Baby Ivory with the follow-up is just so good. Now shot flickers up forward though, eating all the Rhapsody bullets on her face, and she has to hop back. And this is not even the 5th minute mark. We've already lost the goal from mid, up top, even the tower, down bottom. There's a struggle. And bringing bats can't farm.
What do you feel about the game right now? Because for me, it feels like, even though we're seeing a menace pick like a Grok, a Sora, that Zero Vision has actually zero problems against playing with it. And against it, which means they're playing it so well right now without any problems. Already 5k gold lead, which is already, again, almost 1k per minute, which is a very impressive amount of gold lead. So it feels for me right now, since we will see quite the same as we did in the last best of 3. Just right now we have Zero Vision instead of Food Esports and bringing bets instead of Force Gaming.
It's going to be tough right now to make that comeback. You have to wait for a mistake from its Zero Vision. Not really letting that one through. Tech charge used up defensively, and also the offensive one. While Wasa Baying just gets all of them low in that HP. She still wants to go in for the chase with the Arcane Shade. Will have to hop back as Shilian wanted to hop in maybe to get ready for something, but she got instantly deleted. And with that, so is the mid tier 1, as they will now focus down the bottom tier 2.
I mean, yeah, you're right. They have to wait for mistakes, but the question is, will Zero Visions even make any mistakes? Because for me right now, it looks like very decent, like a very easy win for the side of Zero Visions. That bringing bats has no chance to come back into this game.
Not really giving them a chance. So, yep, I agree. Haven't really been able to bring themselves back in this game right now. They're still out in the open. There's a big shade play. But what's up, Bang? She's just enjoying this Valentina right now. They've already zoned them all off. The tier 2 up top taken down. Bottom is going to be taken down as well by the minions. And the shifting skies has been picked up yet again by What's Up Bang. They've got 8,000 goal lead in the hands. It seems like I'm kind of watching FUT Esports play again.
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned. It actually feels like quite a similar thing as we saw in the last game.
As they now move all the way up front, Pepper is the first one to fall as well. Sunlight, thanks to the steed, catches second. A 3-4-0 trade where Baby Ivory was low, but it doesn't really matter. None of them have got enough damage. They used up their ultimates as well.
But now the question which interesting me like the most, is it because Zero Vision is playing like on a level of esports, or is Bringing Bats not playing on their level as quite a bit?
They've been doing whatever they need to do. As right now they take the tier 2 up in mid. Want to focus down the bot. They've already taken down the passive as well for mid and bot. And we still have 80 more seconds for the Lord to spawn in. There's nothing that Bringing Bats can do right now with this knock up and Sunlight following up. You can only hope for maybe surviving. Look at the burst from one Death Sonata HP down to almost half. The rock up is there with a rough phase just to clear the minions. But holy smokes! Baby Ivory on that Granger. She is untouchable. Shillian is going to be caught in no woman's land. And she gets dealt with it because the only one who was taken down to the big tech charge right now. A double kill for shot. And she needs that goal. But guess what? There is the shifting skies on the other end as well. And she'll try to survive right now as Kage up in front with Baby Ivory. Will take down 3 on the other side. Now Lady hops in, but she doesn't have enough damage to clear the way for the red tree. She does. But there still is another one brewing up though. Thanks to the timer on the clock. They will survive for a while, but maybe not for long right now. Soul Saver used up. No evil Queller to run away, as that's another pick for Zero Vision. They keep on going with the Rhapsody on the face with the Steed and the Death Sonata. The shutdown Shillian again. 0-7 on that Kanita.
Bro, this remembers me quite the exact same as in the last best of 3. The same performance like FUT Esports did.
Red team base turret has been destroyed.
Probably so one step better. Half minutes into the game, we already have 40,000 goal lead. 9 make it a 15-1 as well with that Phoenix Fury used up. The minions barging from bot. There's still 10 more seconds for all of them to show up right now. Rough Wave needs to be used up. Petrify all the way down. No one caught in there, but in the no man's land, Shillian survives for the skin of her teeth. A big knocker. Pepper first shut down. Crystal half HP. There's still a couple of minions that you need to deal with right now. But Short is finally answering back with a few damage of her own. Shifting skies onto the face. Kage taken down. And with that, the base all open, worked up, took care of, and Zero Vision will take the game with so much comfort.
Very huge performance. I mean, it's exactly like the same we saw in the last game. The question for me right now is how would it be if Zero Vision faces FUT Esports? How would it be come out? Will it be the same for one of these teams, like they're crushing them completely, or will this be like for real this time a very equal match?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, how do you even bring yourself back? That's the main question, right? After such a kind of game that was so perfect from Zero Vision, Bringing Bads are going to be in quite a predicament right now. They had a few of their comfort picks as well, including the Suyo in their hands. It did not even go in for the Hanabi, went in for the Grog, but it just felt like that with the Grog, they did not practice enough, right? You could see Beba trying to go in for some attacks, but the sets were not followed up. That's the only thing.
And I mean, if I remember it right, I saw after they picked the Grog and the Sora, I saw them laughing very, very badly. As for me, it's said to me, oh damn, we're going to win this game very easily because of these picks. I don't know if they told each other a joke or something like this, or if it really was because of these picks. But Zero Vision just showed us, even though they're getting such picks, there are no enemies for
Yeah.
us.
True. I mean, they had full control of that one. And right now, we will see the swap coming in. This time it's going to be bringing bats who will be on the blue side, Zero Vision on the red side. So we'll have to see how that kind of pans out now. Considering Zero Vision might actually have a chance to maybe pick two of their picks if in case they allow one onto the other side. As we've got all the ladies ready, the draft phase right now begins because it's a do or die for bringing back.
Do you think they will change much into these drafts?
I think so. This should. I mean, if they want
I've
to.
been waiting
Your
for too
team
long.
Wait.
is banning.
Oh man. Okay, we're seeing the carry getting banned out again. I mean, probably either you ban her out or you're going to pick her.
Is banning.
I think this doesn't make like much of a difference, but very good. I mean, you can't do anything wrong with it. Zuxin as well, a pretty good, decent mid laner. What am I saying? Probably the best mid laner right now.
Decent mid lane.
I didn't
Yeah.
cure the pain.
Your
I
team
Decent
is
among
I
the
really would
triple
like
S
to see how the
leaders.
draft will change over here.
The Valentina is a good
The
answer.
clouds are ever
First things
shifting.
first.
Your team
And now
is
since she was taken
steadfast.
care of, Zero Vision instantly answer back with a Sora. Don't really want to give that one pick away on the other side. I think so. We'll probably see the Leo mod ban here, unless Lady wants to pick it up for herself. So that might be one way to go.
Yeah, but do you really think that Marcellus right now, this kind of hero you don't want to face against? Because I really need to say, when I'm playing against the Marcel, it really depends on the own draft. I mean, if you're building your own team a draft where you have like very many
Will it
dash
grant
heroes or people who need to get
immortality
very near or
or
next to the
death?
to the enemies, then for sure Marcel is a pretty good pick. But I really think if you're going for more for like heroes who are going for quite or like a bit on the distance, I think Marcel isn't even that kind of a good enemy you can face, you know?
I mean, one of the strengths of Marcel is the fact how easily he can cover the distances. Like, that dude runs pretty fast.
Your team
And that kind of causes you a lot of annoyance in your own jungle, be it in the early, mid, or late game. The ultimate is more so of an escape tool for either you or maybe your team.
Experience the
So
youth.
that's where you could eventually play with your ultimate, but mostly it is that immobile and the mobility that he has, who gets pretty annoying on the faces. And considering right now neither of these teams like to draft around Marcel, so I feel it's all gonna fall back down onto what their comfort is. And the first one is gonna be Granger. Not the best one there, but alright, that kind of leaves room open for a Freya along with a Grog to be picked up by Zero Vision.
I mean, we saw Granger also before in the hands of Baby
Among
Ivy,
the
which had like a
planes
very huge and
exists
very
the
good performance. She
equilibrium.
did
The
like, very
immortal
good.
chose me to vanquish the
So maybe
shadows
Shot is
that
also
plague
very
this
confident in
world.
the Zero and try to show now Baby Ivy how to play it. Which I would really like to see if she will pull off now in very godly Granger.
The Eve is going to be a problem, considering the range that she has. So Ayaye will be staying way too far back,
Evolution
constantly
and
poking
research
down.
are completely different.
You pick up a Grog to answer all of that. Who are you going to pair this one up with?
Payback
Your team is
time.
banning.
Instant lock on Farsa, so they do not waste any time onto that one. They want to play range with range.
Sniper ready. Give me a target.
Your team is banning.
I mean, we're seeing the growth. I also thought that it will be pretty good, especially because they also got it in the last game. But as we already saw, it didn't make that much of a difference.
Yeah, this one, I think so, with the texture
Valor
of the
and
Farsa
royalty in a
compare
Your
dead
team
body.
is banning.
But yeah, for Leslie, I don't know if that will work out for Baby Ivory. I think that that's a bit too early of a pick, to be honest. Rather want a Harith, but with a Croc on the other side, Harith might not be the best option. He still had an opportunity of a Claude that could have been problematic for Shivayan. Yeah, but the Purify would have become pretty crucial for him if he
No
had
one
played
can
against
escape
Beba.
my iron
Your
fist.
team is banning.
Bringing Bad should ban out a high loss. Because if it's picked up by Zero Vision, then it is going to be very difficult to work around with that glorious pathway.
Bro, I really like this Tsuyu pick. For real. I like that they bumped Leomord and Yuzong. I mean, Yuzong very good XP laner, especially also against Eve and the
I
team.
swear to protect it till my last
And
breath.
but the fact that Freya was open the whole game, I would have immediately picked it.
I have long awaited this glorious day.
It's a Lapu Lapu right now. Alright. What's the answer? Bibian is Esmeralda. She can work up well against the Eve, while also being annoyance to the Lapu Lapu. Can also match the speed of the rotation if not being faster than him. Leslie's the only one that's actually going to be a bit of a problem to Isma, but once she makes the Guardian helmet, I don't think so Leslie is going to be that big of a deal.
I mean, Lapu Lapu can be very strong, especially against Father and Granger, especially with that flicker on his mind. But at the other side, the Joy right now can really cook them up. He can be very, very
I
strong
am
right
the
now.
power of light incarnate.
I don't know. I feel both drafts have their like good sides and their bad sides. But if I'm seeing it right, they're going for the Grok XP lane. I'm quite excited to see this.
I mean, let's see what they actually pick this one. Or maybe it's a Kalia in the EXP lane. That could also
Nah, I
work.
don't think-
It's not that bad.
I really don't
call
think
Kalia
about
EXP.
Kalia XP.
I know there are doubts, but Kage is the one who's actually playing that, and she's the EXP laner. I'm pretty sure she's not hopping in the room.
I mean, if she's playing XP lane, okay, I will trust it. I mean, they are picking their comforts here. If she's comfort to play Kalia on XP lane, why not?
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Concussive Blast should eventually help you clear out that wave, and then you can hop into those fights whenever you want, considering there's no Purify on Zero Vision. So that is a big gamble that they're trying to take, ladies and gentlemen, as they still are one game up. So the pressure is on Bringing Bads to bring themselves back.
I mean, you were completely right. They're going for the Kalia on the XP lane. I never saw Kalia on the XP lane. I'm quite excited to see how this will work out, and if this even will work out, but I think this could be actually a bit of a problem.
The problem majorly is actually Beba helping out Lady to pick up the orange buff, because with that, now Shilian has missed out on 2 of the minions out of the 3 in mid. He's only caught 1, and Ayaye is now going to freeze all that entire wave in her favor. Now this is a big problem for Bringing Bad, because the Farsa is not getting any farm, and if she's not level 4 before the turtle, then the real world manipulation will be a big problem for you.
But the only thing that is a bit hard for me right now is the performance of Zero Origins in the last game. Because I really need to say, I think that no matter how or what kind of draft Bringing Bats thought about right now, or what kind of composition, I really need to say, I think that Zero Origins will smack them again.
It could be possible right now, considering Shot is actually facing a lot of problems being zoned out against Baby Irie on that Leslie. The strength strength of Leslie. We always talk about that poke, that annoyance. If no one camps her lane or if no one pushes her back, then she becomes the one to push the enemy back.
Oh man. But it looks quite a bit better already than in the last game. Because when I remember it right, in the last game, they already had at this point like one take over.
Yeah, right now that's the first blood Kage picked off already. She was not level 4. Beba's flicker was also forced out as well. That's a lot of resources now baited out early on with bringing bats now again onto that back foot. Shot is just level 3. Baby Ivory level 4 already, and look at that zone from Apricot.
Oh man. But oh man, it's looking quite a bit hard because I really think that this game will again go for the side of Zero Visions. Because if we're looking for it, we're seeing the Phaser on level 3 while Eve is already level 5, which already makes quite a bit of a difference. For the gold lane, it's also level 5 to level 3, which is also a huge gap for the side of the gold lane. And I mean, gold difference already almost 2k. I mean, not at the point for the last games, but it's still quite a lot of games.
It is tough. It is tough. Look at that poke. You haven't even allowed shot to be level 4 right now. It's already 3.5 minutes into the game almost. And now with the Divine Judgment available, you can instantly hop in with Real World Revelation being the first one. Now Tsunami Slam bringing one, but Lady's the first one to fall. And maybe it's going to be Beba falling off next. Baby Irie getting that pick. Now you have Kage flickering out of the harm's way. Tries to go for another knocker, but she used up the Tsunami Slam previously. So she's just down and out. What a dodge from Sunlight. The blade surge, picture perfect. The poke from Ayaye is going to be even better. Goes in for the flicker, though will be punished by Lady for that overextension.
I don't know if that was actually worth it to flicker in to get the kill. I mean, she got bursted down afterwards, she still got the kill, but do you think it's really necessary to make a mage trade if you already got 3 kills and probably getting a shutdown?
It's gonna give some gold away, yes, but I don't think so it's going to be that game changing for now.
Because I really think that
yeah, go ahead.
I really think that this was a bit of a mistake. I wouldn't go flickering in for a shutdown or like to get shutdown, you know?
It was 100%. No doubt about that. Went in a bit too deep there with. Oh, hold on, shot. Yeah, she has lost that lane and she is not going to have a fun time. The only good thing that Bringing Bats can do is potentially swap it so that shot could eventually go up top and maybe farm a little bit freely to get an early few items. Now next charge used up, not connecting onto anyone. That is a big bravest fight as Lady will now go in for the electrifying beats to run away. Stunned up shot. Holy smokes! That is just a damn skill 1 from the Lapu Lapu in the base form, which takes away half of her HP.
Can we maybe talk about this
lovely.
Lapu Lapu who just was standing in the enemies tanking like 4 ultimates and didn't even get any damage?
Yeah, bit of a back and forth coming in though. But now they have got the access of the jungle of bringing bad, so look at up top. They're already stealing with the purple.
I need to say it looks actually completely like the last best of 3. Both performances, Foot Esports in this game, Zero Regions, these performances are just much better, much more experienced, and just much better team synergy as their enemy opponents. So I don't know how to say it, but I would be very confident and say that this game is also win for the
Oh, goodness. The range. I want to try and answer range with range, but I don't know, man. Zero Vision are the ones who are having a fun time there. Maybe I'll be just going in for the lethal shot at the very end. Doesn't even matter at this point. 9,000 gold lead already. And this is a Leslie composition which we are talking about. The only time where Bringing Bats have actually found some success has been on a Yaye who has been overextending. But apart from that, everything has been working out for Zero Vision.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, Zero Vision, whatever they're trying to do, it works out somehow. Even though they're just staying alone into 4 enemies and not taking any damage. But I think this game is already cooked for the side of bringing bats. I mean, we're seeing the gold difference. It's 10k already after 7 minutes, which equals almost 1.5k per minute, which is quite impressive actually. They could. I don't know.
Yep.
Do you see there any chance for the side of bringing bats to come back into this game and win this?
Going. It's going. Pretty difficult. Maybe this tech charge. They're gonna catch one though. It's only Apricot. But can you get something more out of that? Because that Landshaker was just phenomenal. And with that, how is even she surviving there? Or surveying? This is just insane tankiness. Hops on the tower, lands in the Landshaker, and just bravish fighters out of there like she's a Chad. Nothing happened.
I mean, it feels very sorry for me. We're watching a 2 best of 3s today where it's a very one-sided games. It's like, and I think we can't disagree with it. It's a very one-sided games. For in both the best of 3s, there was one team which is very one-sided, who's just playing better, which is actually a bit painful to see because it's still a tournament, and I think for myself it would be pretty hard if I'm playing a tournament and I'm getting cooked like this without being any enemy to the enemy team.
I mean, regardless of what you're trying to plan to do here, you have to say your inhibitors. Enemy guards are just playing so far back, and it's all the threat of Apricot with the Divine Judgment who can actually catch anyone, but now they're going for the pick off of their own with the Tsunami Snappers. The Tech Charge catches down 3 people, but their HP is pretty low. No lethal shot available. Oh, level 14 on the Sunlight, barely breathing. Not giving that shutdown away was the big thing right now, baby. Ivy almost taking them down. Shillian surviving with the skin of a teeth, maybe just equal HP to Sunlight. But with that, goal lead still keeps on increasing. They have got what, 13,000 lead in their favor now, and they will potentially push down the bottom end here thanks to the malefic gun that baby Ivory has picked up.
I mean, it looks very dark for the side of Breaking Bad. I need to say there is no chance for them to come back into this game. If we just look on the experience difference from the both teams, that everyone is 2 or 3 levels higher than his opponent. The gold difference is about 15k almost.
That could have been the biggest pick in this game, though, but the Divine Judgment was a bit better. And baby Irie now just taking everyone down, goes in for the ultimate as well, but it doesn't matter. Beba was already back in a base now with Blade Surge, goes in for the Soul Sever as well as baby Irie doubles up with her. And Sunlight just gonna make sure that shot doesn't see any sunlight of her own as baby Irie with the double will shut down everyone on Bringing Bad. A big foreman knock up there, but it doesn't matter. Too many minions to clear. And it will be Zero Vision to move all the way up in the semi-finals of the ESEL Female Pro League Frozen Diva playoffs.
Oh man, what should we say about this? I mean, I would really like to say congratulations. They played very good. But I wouldn't say these were like opponents to this enemy team, you know? Because this were like quite a bit of too easy for a tournament game you want to face against.
True.
So, still congratulations to the side of Zero Visions. At the other side, still respect that they tried to force and play against such a great team who's playing so good together, which also needs a bit of courage to try to do it. I mean, even if you're knowing or not knowing that these enemies are so good, after the first game, when I would get crushed like this, I probably would just surrender the second game. So, I think we saw
That's what they're the ones
quite...
who playing it.
Yes, I think we saw quite impressive games today, and especially for the both winning teams, Zero Asian and Food Esports. I think both of the teams showed off what they are able to do in these games. So I'm really looking forward to the next days for the next tournaments and the next games of the tournaments, and who will be in the end on the place as the winner of this tournament.
Man, that's going to be one of the most exciting things to even think about right now. It's pretty evident that FUT Esports are really, really solid, but Zero Vision are also no far behind. Ladies and gentlemen, these were the first two semi-finalists in the Female Pro League Season 1 Frozen Diva, brought to you by ESEL. A huge shout out to them and their entire team for making this possible, and also GG's to the winners, and good luck to the people who are now going in for that learning experience, the ones who could not make it to the semi-finals right now. It's gonna be it from me, Scared Yet, and alongside me it's gonna be Synchro. We're gonna be catching you guys later on when we have those next two quarterfinals games. You do not want to miss out on that action. Till then, bye bye, stay safe, good night.